people, I don't know, man. Well, I tag everybody. I'm gonna go on a little rant in the beginning of this video when it comes to like, bro, I don't understand people. I just don't understand folks. I don't get it. If you want to start a business and you want to be in the card industry and you want to be taken serious, there's certain ways to go about it. And this is not to anybody, but this is for anybody that watches the video back or whatever else, wants to get into breaking, wants to start a hobby shop. I mean, pretty much everybody that's been in the group or in any of my breaks or talk to me about business or this or that, like, I'm by far not a person that tries to gatekeep anybody. I said, if you want to try it, I'll give you my honest opinion about the industry and how to get into everything. But I'm definitely not a person to gatekeep anything. So it's crazy to me whenever I tell people, like, bro, like, you need to get a LLC. Or, I mean, it could be a sole proprietorship. You don't have to register an LLC. You can do whatever you want, but you need to get a business license. If you want to be successful in this industry, you have to do everything the right way from the start. Otherwise, you're not setting yourself up for success. You're just not. And if you're breaking or doing whatever else on a different platform, whether it's Facebook or whatever, if you don't have a business, you are setting yourself up to the biggest disadvantage ever. You could even come to me. You could walk in my shop, and if you come with a business license and a sales and use form, I can then sell you product tax-free, because you are saying that you as a business are going to buy this from another business, and then when you sell it to a regular customer, you are going to charge the sales tax. I've tried to help other breakers out that are smaller. I was going to say, because, I mean, sometimes you just can't get product. Like, I mean, obviously, most of you guys know that I'm cleaning up the board and swiping everything off. Obviously, we have Heritage. Let me do an introduction real quick. We have Heritage number 3. It is a full case. I put all 12 boxes out there just because the box is gigantic. Where is the lint roller? Let me find a lint roller real quick. But in general, just like I'm trying to help a guy out with Pokemon, and he's like, oh, I just can't make an LLC. It's going to affect my family. Like, what? Does that mean you're, like, evading taxes and that's why you don't want to do it? Like, I'm confused. Like, you have a crazy baby mama that is going to try to take half your money if you have an actual business? Because, in general, if you're breaking on Whatnot or Loupe or whatever else, when the tax man comes a-coming, they're sending you a 1099, homie. Like, no, if you get $1 on there or you get no dollars on there, give me a 1099. Like, you got to pay taxes on that. That's just reported to the federal government. I'm confused. I don't know, man. It's like banging my head against the wall sometimes. On top of, like, just random shit. Like, somebody the other day literally was like, bro, my brake broke 2 days ago. Where's my shit? Like, I didn't realize I was goddamn Hermes from fucking ancient Greece flying your packages over there, dropping them off at your doorstep. Like, people kill me. Anyways, let's get into some Topps Heritage 2024. Got my man Cal Ripken Jr. here, Project 2020. Give him a nice rub on the boxes. Hopefully we can get a better ratio than the 4 autographs we got in the first 2 cases. That's why I didn't go for case number 3. Appreciate y'all that are in the break. Seamless on the right, over at camera in the bottom left-hand corner. Anybody that's in here that wants to talk NFL draft, let me know. I was going to say, we can see how you guys feel. If you want your box topper, also let me know. Teddy Perez for the Reds to start us off on the box toppers. But yeah, man, I don't understand. You can try to help people out, and it's like they like get in their own way. It's the wildest thing ever. Like, I had a guy or two help me out when I first started, and I'm appreciative of them. I mean, after I got to, like, a certain size, they see me no longer as somebody they could manipulate in the hobby, so they kind of, our business aspect of the relationship kind of went away, and then you realize they're only talking to you to try to make money off of you. But, I mean, I'm sure that's a common practice in business. Oh, Dennis, if you're in here, message me afterwards or shoot me a message so I remember to send you a message. Dylan's looking for a used car, and I know that a JBA used to be in the... I mean, I really don't think linebacker needs a dress, period, if what's-his-name comes back healthy. Can't think of the white guy's name right now, but if he comes back healthy, plus you still, like... I think a Landon Roberts as the number 2 linebacker would actually be really good as a thumper. I just don't know if Patrick Queen's a true number 1. That's been my issue with Patrick Queen from the beginning. He's super athletic, but he kind of reminds me more of a Devin Bush than of a Ryan Shazier. But Devin Bush used to be a guy that before he hurt himself that first season, he was a guy that thumped around. So, I mean, maybe he'll be fine. Boring picks to start for the Steelers for sure, but I mean, if you would have told me that we were going to get not Fashanu, who they end up drafting? I didn't see the I didn't see the last pick. How you doing, Ward? Roquan didn't make Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen was already like, it's the same shit that people try to say about C.J. Mosley. Like, he can't cover anybody. Like, the difference is they play different defensive concepts. So, Roquan Smith didn't make Patrick Queen. I was going to say, did he make Patrick Queen, I mean, better? Yeah, I mean, just like Patrick Queen. No, Peyton Wilson's a really good pick, actually. That's like, that's probably, I bet you the grade from ESPN or whatever would give that an A if they got him in the back end of the 3rd round. Because there was talks of him being a 2nd round draft pick. I just don't know. I don't know the Steelers' defense and middle line, like how their middle linebackers quite work enough to know if Patrick Queen's like the perfect fit for the Steelers or not. He does fly around. Roquan made playing linebacker for Patrick Queen a lot easier, but Patrick Queen was already a guy. The reason everyone says they didn't pick up his 5th-year option because of they weren't sure if he was going to be a linebacker or whatever. I think the Ravens didn't pick up his 5th-year option because they needed to pay. They had just paid Lamar, right? Or they needed to pay Lamar still. They were negotiating with Lamar, right? And they didn't want to have to pay him on his 5th-year option, the whatever. It's not worth taking a middle linebacker that had Patrick Queen's numbers as the 5th-year option. It's just never worth it because middle linebackers, like your top 5 guys, get paid like $20 million, and that's what they base the 5th-year option off of, is like the top 7 guys or whatever. So why would you want to pay the average of what Roquan Smith is getting paid? Because Roquan Smith is better than Patrick Queen, don't get me wrong. But you don't want to pay him Roquan Smith money. So it's one of those things where that's why they didn't pick up the 5th-year option. It had nothing to do with Patrick Queen's production. It's the same thing with C.J. Mosley. They didn't want to pay C.J. Mosley top 5 linebacker money, and the Jets did. So that's why they didn't pick up the 5th-year option. It has nothing to do with his talent. Trust me, the Ravens, if they could have kept him easily, like let's say they could have signed him for the $14 million that the Steelers did to a long-term deal, they would have did it in a heartbeat. But they can't afford that in their cap long-term to be paying 2 linebackers $35 million. And then when they traded for Roquan, rather than reworking a deal with Patrick Queen, they obviously just signed Roquan because he's a better linebacker. And I don't blame them. I mean, Roquan's like a top 3 middle linebacker in the entire league. But that's the biggest reason they didn't really try to re-sign him or push to re-sign him. They don't have the cap to re-sign. It's not even worth in the NFL to have 2 middle linebackers for $35 million cap hit. It's not worth it. We got Friedel to start us off. We're just going to kind of flip through these because obviously it's going to be the same, a lot of the same over. We have your Uribe there on the rookie. We got Dick Williams. But as for the draft, I mean, I think the Steelers, they've met needs and they've picked. It's been the first draft where the Steelers have really just kind of picked guys they've needed in position, and they've gotten lucky with actually having good players there. We have Duvall on the short print. I will say I do really, really like the first round pick they had. We had Spees right there on the rookie card. Craig Kimball in his stupid ass stance. Good old Bobby Miller. Robert Garcia. We got Trey Cabbage. Oh, we got the white Braxton Garrett. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Pittsburgh, Tyler, so yeah. I got stationed here in the Air Force and stayed. Well, while I was still in the Air Force. We got CES. Oh, Luis Severino there on the short print. Yeah, Fontenot's going to be really, really good. I'll have the guys flip these over and make sure there's no, like, color switches or whatever whenever they sort them, or try to have them look for them. But obviously, you're getting all your cards, so, I mean, make sure you check through your cards before you just throw away any of the base. We have Arenado. Also, Billy, I told them to not send you any, if you're watching, Billy, I told them to not send you any base on the skunk protection breaks, but I think they still did, so it's not the end of the world. It won't hurt you. I mean, he's going to play right tackle. Let's be honest. We're not Mel Kiper over here. Mel Kiper, a guy 6'4", has a 6'8" wingspan. That guy can't play tackle in the NFL. He's just not a fucking Andre the Giant. He's not 7'2", 485 fucking pounds with an 18-foot wingspan. He just can't play tackle in the NFL. Not big enough. Fucking dumbass. Marte, we have Nick Gonzalez. Not even a good impression because I can't do Mel Kiper's voice. But yeah, he's the fucking biggest dummy ever. McNeil, Amaya. We have Harrison. We got Joe Ryan right there. I can't even like imagine some of the shit he says is just some of the dumbest takes I've ever heard. I wouldn't have. If you're gonna take one of the two, I'd rather take Fatanu than Mims. I don't think Mims is gonna be a good NFL tackle in the pass blocking. Like I cannot wait for TJ Watt to eat that big fucker alive every goddamn game when they play the Bengals. I cannot wait. He's going to go up underneath them big-ass arms and just murder Joe Burrow. We have Duran. J-Dom right there. Who'd you guys draft, Brian? In the first round, Malibu's most wanted. That was actually one of my biggest things about Mims was I just don't know how. Oh yeah, why'd you guys? I don't understand why you guys picked Persal. I didn't like that pick. Oh, we got an auto. Jackson Wolf for the Pirates. That's going to go to Matt. That closer's luck. Say former Padres prospect, part of the trade. I think he was part of the Musgrove trade, right? But yeah, man, I don't understand some of the picks. I just don't understand. The biggest pick, obviously, that everyone's talking about. I still don't understand the Penix Jr. pick. He's like, if they would have picked J.J. McCarthy, okay, I get it. Like, J.J.'s young. He's like barely 21. You let him sit for a couple years. You let him marinate and cook behind Kirko Cousins and Kirko Changane, and then after maybe 3 years, you bring him in. He's 24. He's well seasoned, like a Jordan Love, and you don't get any fall off from the quarterback position. But I don't understand old ass Michael Penix. I mean, that's pretty much saying that you don't trust Kurt to be good, and you're just like, yo, bro, like, we really don't think you're going to be that good. Like, we don't even know why we signed you. We were drunk when we did it. Like, we can't get a do-over, so we're just going to deal with it kind of thing, right? That or the Falcons trade Kirk Cousins away and eat his salary like a Russell Wilson type deal, but I don't even know how they can get out of it because Kirk Cousins stuff is all guaranteed. So here's what I would fear if I was the Falcons. There's a chance you could be paying Kirk Cousins to go play football somewhere else, and maybe Michael Penix ends up being a stud, right? We have Jorge Orta for the White Sox. I mean, look, he's not taking that team because they don't have any defense, Tyler. If you would have put like Kirk Cousins on the Steelers right now, or a team with a good defense, you would have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. But definitely not for the Falcons. I mean, you could put him on a team with a good defense, and he has a chance. I'm not saying the Steelers would have the roster, dude. I'm just saying if you put him with a team with a good defense and some weapons, Kirk Cousins will get you in the playoffs. And there's a chance he wins some playoff games. A lot of the Vikings not making the playoffs or losing is because their kickers have sucked or their defense has folded. I mean, look at the year whenever Claypool spiked the ball. The Vikings were up like 30 points. And their defense literally was just folding like a fucking lawn chair. Like, literally let the Steelers get back in the game for no reason. Like, the problem is a lot of, like, yeah, sketchy stuff. I personally think he should have stayed in Minnesota, but they didn't want to pay him. The Chargers, man, the Chargers are going to have a good offensive line, too. They're going to have probably the best tackles in the game. But, like I said, boys, tomorrow, Mixer. Going to have Topps Chrome Black Tribute Museum Collection from last year. It does have a box of Heritage in there. I'm going to say. It's going to be a pretty good mixer. I shared it underneath the break to Mike Fick. I mean, you really can't count his years with the Redskins. None of those teams were set up to really win. I mean, it's kind of like the Steelers. Like, yeah, the Steelers have been in the playoffs a bunch, but, like, the last 4 years, they haven't really had a team where, unless they run the ball, and, I mean, they weren't going to beat the Chiefs when they played them a couple times with Mahomes. I mean, they probably should have won the game against the Browns. Like, that was just them having a terrible first 10 minutes of the game. No, I was just saying that if people are looking to see what was in the mixer tomorrow, that it was underneath a post where you replied to the thing earlier today where I replied to you with what the mixer was going to be. Yeah, Suzuki to start us off. You said you heard Chef. The only reason Kirk made that much money was because the Redskins didn't want to pay him any guaranteed money, so because they didn't want to pay him guaranteed money, he ended up playing on the franchise tag a couple times and made a shit ton of money. And then, if anybody wanted to sign him, because he'd proved that he'd play on the franchise tag, somebody had to sign him for all that guaranteed money, which ended up being the Vikings. I was going to say... At least you put up numbers to kind of earn that money. You're going to have a guy like Deshaun Watson that's getting all that money and ain't even worth it at all. We're going to have Felix Batista on the memorabilia for the Orioles. And that's going to go to Dennis. Top loader, I don't know. Are you talking about the top loader? Well, you better calm down. That's Baltimore's Omar. If you know, you know. You better calm down before he comes out there with his boys. Yeah, Rodgers. Savali. We had Hyde tonight for the Orioles making some smooth-brained maneuvers. I was going to say, manager of the year, boys. He just does some of the dumbest shit, I swear. I don't even want to get into the Jackson Holiday being demoted back down to AAA. How to ruin your top prospect, 101 by the Orioles. Colton Cowser. Oh, we got the black Christian Walker. Black border. The Diamondbacks. Like, it would be different if you had Jackson Holiday come up and wear 87 or whatever else that he wore in spring training, but you gave him the number 7 because it means something to the Orioles and send his ass right back down is wild to me. And then you have people like agreeing with Hyde's dumbass decision and saying you need to go back down. And I had a guy argue with me saying, well, it worked for Gunnar Henderson. I was like, buddy, Gunnar Henderson never got sent down. They let Gunnar Henderson sit there and swing and miss, swing and miss. There was like a point of like a 4-game period when Gunnar Henderson was struggling his rookie year, where I shit you not, that motherfucker was checking out chicks in the first rows of Oriole Stadium because his head wasn't looking at the ball because he's busy turning his whole body staring down the first baseline. But they let him struggle. They let Cowser look. I thought they did Cowser dirty last year too when they sent him down. They weren't playing him all the time and all this other shit. But they let Cowser get 77 at bats, batting 115. It's kind of ridiculous. We have Moreno to start us off. But that's just my opinion. I was saying it has nothing to do with, like, obviously, like, I have Jackson Holiday cards. I mean, I've showed you guys the one graded one. I don't even care about the card aspect of anything. Like, to me, it's just wild that, like, they're still winning it, and it's early in the year. It's not like they're losing every single game because Jackson Holiday is missing crucial bats. My issue, Mike, is what if he goes down to AAA and struggles? Then what do you do? He can't. What if he goes down there and bats 200 because he's just mentally ruined? Like, then he's just fucked. Then he has to go down to AA. Like, you could literally just. The problem is if he goes to AAA and does not dominate, he's done. He's toast. You can just leave him in the minors for the rest of his career, or until he's like 22. He's going to have to play the rest of the year down in AAA, AA if he goes down there and doesn't dominate. That's the problem. That's what no one's thinking about. Because what if he goes down there like Mickey Moniak and goes down there and just struggles? Because that's what happened to Mickey Moniak. And then now you see Mickey Moniak's not even with the Phillies anymore. He's over with the Angels. The Phillies completely ruined him. Because they brought him up, he got hurt. They sent him down because he struggled some. And then they were winning. They signed some veterans during the trade push. I mean, I don't know if he'll struggle or not, Brian. He is pretty elite. I was going to say, to the point where, like, I just think he's so much better than AAA talent, but, yeah, he could struggle in AAA and be toast. I mean, that... Like I said, I'll probably, start moving some pieces of the holiday collection just because I can buy it again if he unstruck. By the time if it keeps dropping in price, I can rebuy it. I mean, if not, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, and he just got a hit. Like, he just hit the ball, like the game before they sent him down. He just got a hit. Like, he got a hit, and then we have Mario Guerrero. The international guys are also tough ones, man. Like Junior Caminero, Celestin. But I still have a ton of 2023 Bowman Chrome here that I'm going to just I just been kind of holding on to a couple cases because I know there's going to be at least 4 or 5 guys in those boxes that are just nasty. People are going to want to buy that stuff. So here's the difference between Jackson Merrill and Jackson Holiday is no one is worried about Jackson Holiday. I mean, if you look at, and I said this before and I'll say it again, if you go look at every single one of Jackson Holiday's at bats, especially early on, and I think this is one of the reasons why when he first got called up, guys like Gunnar and Santander and Adley had really good games. Is the pit normally when you pitch, and I never pitched at the major league level, so I really don't know this. But from everything I've talked to, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Juan Padilla. I'm friends with Juan Padilla, and everything. And talking to him when he talked about pitching at a very high level, it's all about controlling the entire game as a starter. So when you get to the back end of the lineup, you know they're not great hitters. Like some lineups like the Dodgers, you can't really just like throw meatballs to the Dodgers bottom whatever because on most teams they're like a 5 or 6 hitter at the bottom. Maybe a guy might be a 4 hitter on a shitty team like the Pirates, right? But they're getting down to number 9 and they're throwing their best shit against Jackson Holiday. They're not down there like this is the 9 hitter. This is Jorge Mateo. Let me throw a fucking meatball over the middle because his ass is gonna ground out to the shortstop anyways or swing and miss because he's fucking trash. But yeah, just one of those things where he was getting a lot of tough at bats. They were trying to paint the corners, pitch on the edges. But what happened is if the pitcher's expending energy, and Jackson Holiday had a lot of at-bats where he's seeing 5, 6 pitches. But Mark, everyone's a hitter, but they're not pitching to everyone like they're a hitter. Like, look, man, if you're facing somebody in the lineup like a Jorge Mateo or some other back in the lineup, you're not throwing your best stuff to them. You're throwing strikes, you're getting ahead of the count early, and you're really not trying to strike them out. Like, you're going to try to strike them out, but yeah, they're giving him their best stuff. So when a pitcher works like that, then the next batters, now he just worked his hardest to throw those 7 or 8 pitches. I'm not saying he's fatigued because he's a starter, right? But eventually they make mistakes. And who is he making the mistake to? On his 9th or 10th pitch after the hard at bat, he's making a mistake to Gunnar. He's making a mistake to Adley. He's making a mistake to Anthony Santander. And they're fucking hitting bombs. Like, so it's one of those things where, like, the lineup is benefiting from Holiday being in it, even if he's sucking ass. Because the other guys are not facing... If you're a starter, you can't throw... If you throw 100, like, unless you're a freak like Hunter Green or one of these guys that can throw 100 and it looks like they're not even throwing it, they're just out there. Their arms are made of, I don't fucking know, gumbo berry, devil fruit, or whatever the hell Luffy has from One Piece, where their arms are just rubber and they can just throw hard as shit. Like, most of the time, the guys that can throw 100 aren't throwing 100 every pitch. Like, they might hit like 97, 96. And then the bottom of the lineup, they're throwing their stuff to throw strikes. They're not throwing their stuff to be like, I need to juice this up to 101. And they can't do that every time, or they're going to fatigue. Their arms get tired. Like, so it's like one of those things where, like, we have Andrew Abbott. It's, I don't know, man. They just, and then the Orioles fans are just terrible. Like, it's a terrible fan base. I mean, Yankees fans and Phillies fans are probably the worst when it comes to, like, expectations. Maybe Dodgers fans. I don't deal with a lot of West Coast. Like, I've never really dealt with a ton of West Coast guys. But, man, like, it is something else. There's a Gunnar Henderson variation. Or short print, not variation. So, yeah, man, we got Mason Wynn there. But yeah, I just feel like he was. We got a Clayton Kershaw on a 115 out of 999. I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying Orioles fans, like, the expectations are ridiculous. And then you guys do the same shit that Pittsburgh does when it comes to football. They'll, like, almost cult follow or, like, create guys into, like, folklore heroes like Adam Jones. Like, Adam Jones was good, but Adam Jones was not as good as Orioles fans make Adam Jones sound out like he was. They act like Adam Jones is batting .330 and hit fucking 50 home runs a season. Like, if you talk to an Orioles fan, they'll be like, yeah, man, Adam Jones batted three. Like, you can look at his numbers. The dude batted, like, 280. The highest he's ever batted, like, in any season. They talk to him like he was a fucking 22-time Gold Glover, batted 400 with fucking 80 home runs a season. It's wild. Like, and I get there's fan favorites. Like, I understand that. But, like, some of the stuff, too, I think Orioles fans, maybe they just been playing too many video games or something and think every guy's hitting video game numbers. Because for as good as Adley is for, like, his age, a catcher, whatever else, like, Adley Rutschman career batting average, like, 265 or some shit like that. It's not like he's out here just absolutely just nasty. I mean, Gunner's nasty this year, but Gunner also struggled a bunch, too. But they let both of those guys work out of any of their issues. So I don't understand. I just don't get it, man. I don't understand the fan base. I think Hyde's a terrible manager. He gives me a lot of, like, Tony La Russa vibes where he just does dumb shit. And, like, he's going to be so successful because he's like, who can't be successful if you're fucking a manager for the Cardinals and you have four guys that are, like, near the Cy Young winning with the best play-calling catcher in all of baseball. You have Albert Pujols at one point in time at first base with guys like Scott Rowland at third base. Of course you're going to fucking be easy to manage a team that's filled with fucking Hall of Famers. Like, I could make a lineup as an 8-year-old and win a couple games. It's why whenever he went and coached like Washington or shitty teams, the teams were absolute dog shit. We're going to have an image variation Ellie here for the Reds. Nice hit. Who got the Reds in this? Going to Brad Mullins on the Ellie photo variation. It's the second one we pulled in the group. Or a guy like, and I mean, it probably sounds a little biased because I am a Pirates fan, but a guy like Clint Hurdle got the most out of his shitty teams. Like, when the Pirates made the playoffs, like, they had some teams that were like, yeah, they had some talent. Like, the one year they did have the MVP, but in general, I don't think McCutchen should have won the MVP. Don't get me wrong. I think McCutchen, based on his numbers, just because he has, like, one of those goofy, like, very wide playing counting numbers, he might have a chance to make the Hall of Fame. Possibly. I don't think he's like a shoe-in Hall of Famer, but sometimes some guys are just so loved by the media they'll get in. Personally, don't think he's a Hall of Famer. But other than McCutchen, he never really had like a superstar that he coached. Like, he had Starling Marte when he was young, but Marte was always hurt. And then he had the whole steroid issue when the Pirates were actually had probably one of their better teams. Right there, you got the JT Realmuto on the memorabilia. I think one of these might be. Nope. But the Pirates are who they thought they were, though. Everyone's like, "Oh, they're 8-2." I was like, "Don't worry. By like middle of May, at the most, we'll be 500. Ain't a fucking chance we're better than a 500 team." I think they're like 13-14 now, or some shit like that. Of course he did. Dude's more injury prone than fucking Sam Bradford. He's like what you do. He's like the guy you want Ellie De La Cruz to not be. Like I honestly think that's one of the reasons why Ellie's price was not hurt. I wouldn't say hurt's not the right word, but a little people were a little worrisome. So I had a bet with one of my buddies in the fantasy hockey league. He said that Sidney Crosby was no longer a top 20 player in the NHL. That's why I was laughing. Because the noise was him sending me a message. We got Rick MC for the Yankees on the buyback. And we bet $15 or $20 Canadian. Or maybe it's 15 US, which is still $20 Canadian. And that Sidney Crosby would finish in the top 20 in the fantasy hockey league, and in like the middle of the year, he's like in the 30s, and obviously went on a tear at the back end of the season. And I just sent him a message. I said, "It doesn't matter, bud," because I was talking to him. He is Jackson Holiday in all our fantasy leagues. We play a lot of fantasy sports together. And I was like, Jackson Holiday's career's over, like just trolling him. And I was like, "Oh, by the way, Sidney Crosby finished in the top 20." He's like, "Your hockey team still sucks," which they did. I finished 12th. My team was hurt the entire time. Freddie Anderson as my keeper goalie. He had the whole heart condition shit. So I was playing essentially just running whatever goalie I could throw in the net in fantasy, which is never a good time if the goalies make up it's like pitchers in baseball. If you don't have good pitchers in fantasy baseball, you might as well just concede, because every league requires you to at least have either good starters or good or good bullpen. So. But yeah, Brian, it doesn't surprise me that O'Neal Cruz is still hurt, or that he got hurt. Plays the game hard, but man, he is fragile and slightly overrated. But when he does stuff, you're like, damn, that dude can be really, really good. He's just so inconsistent, so very inconsistent. I mean, I don't hate him. I'm a fan of his too. I'm just saying, he is an inconsistent player. We are getting into, I believe this is box 4, 5, 4. I think it's just box 4, man. wish they would make Heritage to be a little bit more slidey like Gypsy Queen was, and it would be so much more pleasant to break. I mean, it's not... I don't mind it super bad to break. It would just be easier. It wouldn't be so sticky like when you're trying to slide it, but... I know they're trying to get that. This is not even Whitey Horsog, I don't think. I think it's somebody else. There's one of the guys that their photos switched. Uribe, Paredes. Oh, I did look it up. Parker Meadow is Andrew Meadows. Brother. Got Corey Lee for the White Sox. Coco Montes. Marco Luciano. It is Whitey. I just don't know which one's which. Here's a nice hit for the O's. 257 out of 375 on the Adley. Nice little grayscale on the chrome. We have Jaloff right there on the base. Dominic Fletcher on the white border. I still don't know how short print some of the like the short print there. Good old Dusty and his toothpick. Talk about a guy that's actually a pretty good ball player on top of, I mean, whether you like him or not, a hell of a manager. You guys see any of the Topps Chrome? Shit, what's it called? The one where it's an old design, it's Topps Chrome. It'll be last year's product too, so that's about to come out. Man, I cannot think of what it's called. Platinum. Topps Chrome Platinum. And Platinum Anniversary or whatever, that's coming out middle of the next month. Next month has a lot of releases. We got to kill Bowman, guys. We're going to have to I'll put some ads. I'll try to pre-fill. But anybody you know that gets some Bowman breaks, man, invite them to the group. I have almost 30 cases coming for sure. There's like Jimenez for the White Sox going to Stuart Gates. But yeah, in general, I have about 30 cases coming, and that's without even Wave 3 coming out yet, so definitely have a lot of it. We'll have it for personals as well. We'll have personals probably to start at about 280, 290. I just want to double check and wait to see what Wave 3 price is before I put a final price on it, which I should find out what Wave 3 is next week. But why do you think I'm talking the whole time? I don't talk this much. You know, Carlton Fisk. this guy. Honestly, if it wasn't for the red ink, I don't think anybody would even open Heritage. I mean, there'd be some guys, like old heads, that would open Heritage, but man, I was going to say, it is not the most friendly product. I will say that, starting Wednesday next week, actually starting Tuesday next week, Dylan will be breaking till I come back Sunday from the Disney cruise I'm going on, so I'll still be active in the group talking. I'll be handling all the back-end stuff for the group. So if you need anything, let me know. But treat Dylan with respect. Still fill up the breaks. Don't be like, oh, Joey's not breaking. Unfortunately, at some point in time, I am allowed to have a life, guys. Hopefully with me advertising a lot more. And as you've seen, we got some new guys like welcome Mike Skornick, as well as I think there's another new guy in this break. Rico Cal's a newer guy. Love that some of the newer guys that joined the group are actually getting. He knows baseball. I was going to say he knows cards. I mean, he's going to handle your cards with care. You can tell when he breaks. He broke on Loupe. He did the skunk breaks on here. So you can tell he's just a little bit nervous. He's going to go through the cards more than I am. Like, if he did Heritage, he'd probably go through every name, be here for 7 hours. But yeah, I'll keep saying it. Just trying to get the growth in the breaks just so that we can have more consistency. Because it's not fair to guys. And I say this every time. Like, I don't like... Break-wise to me, like, of course I want to break every night. I want there to be... I want there to be 4 or 5 breaks every night. But in reality... it's more for the guys getting in breaks. I don't want you guys to have to sit around that you were in a break, you paid, now you're waiting. Like, we got Bobby Miller there on the white border. Like, that's really more my concern, is the more people we get in and fill breaks. And I've been trying to be a lot more lenient about working deals because we have been a lot more consistent. We got Earl Weaver, which I think he might be... I haven't seen too many Earl Weavers. Just says manager. We got Jordan Adams on the rookie, 487 out of 999. But been trying to make sure that we get stuff filled as quickly as possible because I do want there just to be consistency for the guys that are always getting in breaks, that they're not waiting around, because that sucks. I mean, it sucks for you guys. To be 100% honest. I mean, it sucks for me too, but from a standpoint, I know you guys can go other. Oh, we got another autograph, Ron Blumberg for the Yankees. It's going to go to Evan. But I know you guys can also go to other groups and break, and some of the bigger guys are breaking like 87 times in a day. So I obviously very much appreciate the support, but I would love to be just more consistent for you guys so you guys don't have to go other places and pay more money for the same break and just have a worse experience. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to break with those big guys that just care about your wallet. I want to say stuff like that on advertisements, but I also don't feel like getting like the backlash of like, I put something out one time and used some sort of wording and somebody was like, oh really? Like, what, are you just taking pot shots at me or whatever? And I'm like, no, that wasn't even the intent of the thing. I just used words, and I can't help you. Named your group like a child. And use descriptive words that are like almost conceited type words. Like, I can't help that, but yeah. There's guys that get a little butthurt. There's guys that watch other people's groups and be like, why are you getting his breaks? I'll give you guys shit about getting other breaks only because it pops up in my feed, not because I'm actually watching you guys. I actually scroll Facebook to go argue with people on the internet. No, not actually. I see some shit, I'm like, yo, like, I'm just going to argue with this guy. Bruh, the Pirates are not making the playoffs, so I don't care. I wish y'all would have beat them earlier so I could have got... How did Kyle Harrison pitch? Did he get a quality start? I wish y'all would have not walked them off and beat them earlier so I could get a win in fantasy. Bunch of bums. Botania's 150th home run. Yeah, nice quality start. He's going to be on Joey's super awesome team for a long time. And I won't change my name because it also... My buddy's the commissioner of that particular league. And every time he does an announcement and like a trade happens or... Which, by the way, I still can't believe I ripped that dude off for Evan Carter, man. I traded Cedric Mullins and... some other outfielder. Like some middle tier outfielder for Evan Carter and Jared Kelenic. Now, I know Kelnic's just a platoon guy, but man, like... Mullins is Mullins, but Mullins, I mean, you ain't... I'm going to have Evan Carter for, like, in a dynasty league for, like, 5 or 6 years till his salary gets way too high if he keeps playing like the way he is. I'm not keeping Mullins at all. Like... We're going to have Dave Hamilton for the Oakland Athletics. I like it that they do have a lot of buybacks this year for the box toppers and not so many damn big no one gives a shit about them cards because who really likes these cards? Also, can we talk about this design? Who was like, we're just going to put a big ass A at the top? Ace. Like, Athletics doesn't fit in the font, boys. Just put Ace. Yeah, man, that Evan guy. And of course, the team I fell asleep in the computer did all my drafting is the team that's like just straight up murdering people. Like I drafted like the first 6 rounds or whatever and got like Soto and Glass now, but man, like they did some stuff where I would never have went after Lourdes Gurriel Jr. because it was like an auction league and they got Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and that dude's been nasty to start the season. Getting the box 6 here. Well, I can't help that you play fantasy with the Helen Keller and the boys. Like, how do you get Trout 89th? That's wild. I mean, depending on how your league set up, his batting average isn't great this year, but... Brian, are you going to have a team in this? Oh, you do have the Giants. I was like... I forgot you grabbed the Giants. I know you like try to avoid Heritage. I was like, what is he talking about? I thought you were just hanging out because, yeah, it's not even that late in the. I guess it's 9:45, depending on what your wife does, and assuming your son's been in bed. Man, it took me finally. I got the teacher switched out of my son's daycare room. Man, it took me threatening this. Well, I'm still gonna actually report them to the state, but that's beside the point. It took me like a lot of threats, like yo, like you guys need to start doing this, or I'm getting an attorney. I'm gonna file a complaint with the state and have them do an investigation. Yo, you're not a gambler. You're a degenerate collector. We do not do any gambling in Charm City. They always do. And then they fall asleep right away. And then they just take all the covers. It's every time, bro. We got a Vladdy Jr. memorabilia. Where's Tim at? It's going to Tyler. I know it's not Tim's. But we have Candelario. We have Rellamuto. The question is, what is this symbol like? Oh, top fan. That's it. I was like, yo, like. It's weird because Brian doesn't have that symbol, but he's definitely talked the most in videos, but like Austin and Mike had it. I did not see your... Honestly, man, like I joke about seeing, I do not actually follow other people when they get in breaks. I really like, I know I say this over and over again, but I really don't care where else you guys break. Like to me, it doesn't matter. Like I will check in on you, and like guys will think I'm like asking about like whatever. Nah, man, like I run a business, so like obviously like the breaks have to fill, but if I'm checking on you and you're not in a break for a while, it's to make sure you're okay. I mean, like, Kevin Britton, I don't know if he's watching right now, but I'm sure Kevin Britton can attest to that. I was going to say, by the way, anybody that's hit me up with my messenger has been jacked the F up. So I'm going to try to go through this weekend and see if I miss anybody's stuff. But if you have messaged me and I haven't messaged you back, please don't take offense to it. It is literally, I'm not getting like any messages on my phone. I actually showed a couple people where, like, when I search for people, it pops up, like, one version of the text that I can't get into. So, Brian has the OnlyFans badge. I'll have to, when I go to Colorado Springs in the end of the month, the end of next month, I'll have to end of next month, beginning of June. I'll have to go into their card shop and take a picture for you, Brian, so you can jerk off to me. And I can't remember the owner's name right now. Give me a nice picture you can use in your private time. We have Quinn Priester for the Pirates. I cannot wait till Topps gets football, man. I just can't. I can't buy into the Panini stuff just because it's so expensive and I don't really have like a good allocation anywhere. But man, I cannot wait for Topps to get football, even basketball. Because that'll be stuff where I'll try to build up a following by just making the prices so good there where I'm like maybe barely breaking even. Because if I'm breaking 4 or 5 different sports, I'm okay with making the guys sort and work more for the same amount of money. I was going to say, I don't have to be like some other guys and bend everybody over backwards and give you the good old ice cube. No Vaseline. We have Sassoni for the Diamondbacks. Yeah, I mean, Priester can be, if he's another guy that's had some health issues through the minors. Let me go get a bin real quick to put this break. Ugh. It's like wild. Sometimes Dylan and Tyler like actually clean up the store. No, the badges are just like, I think if you comment on the actual post, they give you a badge or whatever. I don't know. Hell, the one guy argued about to call me an edgelord probably is a top fan because me and him went back and forth for like 40 messages. The Lord of the Edges, Joey over here. That shit was hilarious. Dumb people thinking I was trying to get a damn Anthony Volpe for $1,000. The Anthony Volpe 101 debut patch for $1,000. I'm just trying to give people $1,000 at debut patches. Fucking wild. Fuck me, right, for trying to be a nice guy, boys. So I was gonna say. That shit was hilarious. Or that guy the other damn day arguing with me about fucking why Ellie's still a rookie and trying to say that Topps was fucking doing a money grab, and I call him out on his bullshit, and he's like, "Oh, you should get your direct accounts canceled because you're an asshole." Like, bro, go suck a dick. Fucking fruitcake. We got Vic Albury for the Twins. Like, Topps is going to listen to the guy that's literally accusing Topps of trying to do a money grab tactic. I mean, I can be an asshole. No doubt about it. Ain't no doubt in my mind. So I can be an absolute dick. But I let other people start it. I just like finishing it. The new guys are going to go back and watch this video and be like, this fucking guy. Like, oh, he just talked for like 2 hours straight about some nonsense. One second. Fuck is this guy with a flag? What's the flag? Milestone follower. Ward's one of the OG followers, milestone guy. Got a flag. I don't even know if it was the actual milestone following or like you were just one of the first guys to follow, because I think you probably found the page through an advertisement. Although apparently I poach people even though I run advertisements. That's the only way people join the group. I haven't messaged anybody. I have not messaged anybody in a long time. When I started the group, did I poach? 100%. That's why I don't care about poaching. However, when I poached or messaged people, it was all out of buy, sell, and trade groups. I didn't go in other people's break groups and be like, oh, I'm going to message the guys in the group. But well, you can run ads, but no one's joining your group with 58 people in it or whatever. Like, you have to message guys and be like, hey, I'm starting out. Like, I'm going to get in some small breaks for a good price. Like, here's how you do it. But hell, man. Some people just go and, it's like going, if I went into Burger King and was fucking handing out McDonald's coupons. Shit's wild. Also, when you run ads on Facebook, there's a whole lot of people that are Facebook admins that will cancel your... We're going to cancel your business. I know it's not poaching, Mike. We're going to cancel your business. if you don't switch the wording and give us your password. Fucking scammers. Sometimes I like to fuck with them. I mean, I work in cybersecurity, so like one of the biggest cyber attack attempts is always phishing. That's all it is phishing, right? They want you to click on a link, and then what they do is they have either an application or whatever else that has a keystroke. Will get all your keystrokes, so it'll get, like, if you type in your password, it'll redirect you to the webpage, say your password wasn't correct, but they'll have your actual password and username, and then they'll use it to log into your account. That's how they steal your information. Now you know how you get hacked on Facebook. That's the number one way it happens. If someone sends you a message or whatever else, and you click a link, and it looks like you're not logged in, or you are logged in, or you need to re-log in or whatever, you type in your username and password, that's how they get it. And then they redirect you to the actual page of Facebook, so it doesn't look like you, we have Eflin there on the whiteboard. It doesn't look like, it just looks like you mistyped your password when you actually didn't. And then you log back into Facebook and you don't realize that, anything happened. Not just for Facebook, they do it for everything. That's like the number one way for phishing attacks to work. Got Josh Bell, 59 out of 99. They had Joseph write the numbering on the back. Solid numbered right there, boys. That is grade A 5th grader handwriting right there. Going to the Marlins and Josh Bell. Going to Matt, part of the closing teams, I believe. I mean, there's other ways to get your information. Like, you can do a, where people mess with the URL and they'll, pretty much spillover attack and do stuff with the URL where then they can grab extra information out of you web browsing or whatever else. But for the most part, the number one way to get your password and stuff, that or, a lot of people will share their personal information with, like, a bunch of random-ass people. But yeah, I was gonna say, then once you get into something that somebody has on their computer, you can then pivot all over their stuff and pretty much do whatever. Get into webcams. It's pretty crazy. There's a lot of vulnerabilities in, like, programs and other stuff too. But yeah, I'm gonna say TikTok, Facebook, anything social media, LinkedIn has a ton of information on it. There has not been anything cool for you, buddy. I'm sorry. The card god said, 2 Evan Carters and Topps Chrome Black. Pick your player. Can't give you anything in Heritage. The Yankees black border. Nasty Nestor Cortez going to the Yanks. That's not actually what they said. But yeah, right now you just have not hit anything Evan Carter-wise. We could have like a color variation or something like that. I'll have Dylan and Tyler sort the cards backwards, as in, like, when they're sorting, go this way so they can try to see if they get any variations. We have Otani. He says they don't want to connect to my webcam. The amount of splooge on that bad boy. One of the number one ethical hackers actually in the world for the United States and does a lot of, like, government classes and stuff is actually a former Marine. They might have actually switched a lot of stuff, but he did a whole thing where he broke into the to a Marriott by using a vape. So essentially he, because they have censored doors, right? So what he did is he created such a large vape cloud that it acted as though a human was on the other side of the door, so it unlocked the doors to open it from the outside, which is kind of nuts because everything's like automatic or electronic. We got Patrick Bailey. Austin, if you popped in here, somebody said they buy the Otani that you hit earlier. I mean, it's awesome if you're doing like a security thing for them to fix that shit. But in reality, like if you were staying at an expensive ass Marriott in like the city, you know, I mean, you would not want to get Sal Frey like on the box topper. Yeah, dude, there's like, I mean, there's so many things. I mean, yeah. Especially with everything being connected to the internet, dude. It's a lot of sketch things. We're in box number 8 right here. We're actually not moving at a terrible pace for Heritage. I mean, I heard about it. I don't know what casino it was at. Yeah, the cabbage there. Willer Abreu's had a fantastic week. Fantasy. Volpe on the white border. Campusano. We still haven't got to like the hot box yet, so we still got the one that's going to have the purple chrome in it. We have Brian Reynolds on the game used memorabilia. Pirates have had a nice, sneaky, nice break here. Going to Matt. Once again, part of the closing teams. We got no. Devin scared off all the Pirates fans and then slowed down a little bit, getting in break. So scared off all the. Not that we had any Buccos fans, but he was pretty much taking the Bucks and everything. And he slowed down a little bit. The last team to fill every single time, almost. Then again, it could just be because they have a good checklist this year, but people aren't quite sold on like Henry Davis and Quinn Priest and whoever else. But I think they have a really solid checklist for the price because Ellie and whoever else are commanding such a high price that actually get in on a team with like 4 or 5 rookies. One guy's a former first overall pick. So we have Byron Buxton. It's going to be a 263 out of 575. Going to the Twins. They don't, which is why I haven't made a price list yet. Because I am also too lazy to go through a whole checklist. I mean, I could, but I also like work sometimes. Do a lot of button clicking, policy writing and reading. So I think some of you guys forget that I work a whole like 9 to 5 government job. Man, Kierstad's just banged up here. Got a little bent corner. PCA had his first home run a couple days ago, right? Yeah, I never got to be the scummy breaker that lives in his own basement. damn life responsibilities. Couldn't start doing this when I was 21. This couldn't happen 10 years earlier. Yeah, Jordan Romano on the white border. I wouldn't change anything, by the way. I'm not. This is me joking around. Speaking of Mickey Moniak. Ooh. Oh, we got a Tommy Davis going to the Orioles. Look at that fro, baby. Look, it's even a perfect. It's a tricolor error card. No, it does have a little bit of blue, so it's not the perfect cut here, but good old Herman Davis. Herman Thomas Davis, I was going to say. Goes by Tommy. Go to Dennis. In the box, 9. Palencia, Bido. Did Dallas and them play tonight? The Mavericks? The game actually might still be on. I have to actually check real quick. Second. There's hockey. I guess the Mavs aren't playing right now. They must have played earlier then. Yeah, the hockey game's a blowout. Turn that on. Sorry about that. We have Junior Caminero. Gonna do some commentary of Doncic just lighting people up, but it's fine. Ooh. Got Lars Nootbaar batting third for the Cardinals every day. Another sneaky guy in fantasy that has a lot of upside for fantasy baseball. We have Nathaniel Lowe on the short print. Yeah, Zach Neto on the white border. Man, even any white border guys that are rookies. Got Ty France. Trent Grisham. PCA, Quinn Priester, Devin Swift. Or Sweet. There was Brian Thomas's favorite guy, Butler. Horowitz, Ellie. Yeah, Will Smith. Jazz Chisholm Jr., 693 out of 999. Marlins. Got black and white Earl Weaver for the Orioles. He just doesn't sell. He's a good ball player. I mean, Esteury Ruiz is the same way. Like, decent ball player, just not a guy that sells a ton. Elvie Marte. There's Luciano. Evan Carter. I think he's a good ball player. I think okay, so baseball wise, great baseball player. Sports card wise, little tough because his rookie cards are in Padres jerseys. His first is in a Padres jersey. So he doesn't sell as well because he's going to make his name as a national, especially if they re-sign him. We got Ezekiel Tovar. for the Rockies. So card-wise, a little tough. Because he doesn't his rookie card's not in his uniform he plays for. He's also on a small market team that just no one gives a shit about, so people don't realize that he's playing well, which is also problematic. On a different note, speaking of young shortstops, I'm still waiting to see what happens to Wander Franco, because if they don't, they have till June 1st to officially charge him, or the judge in the Dominican Republic is going to drop all charges. And if that happens, what does baseball do? We're only at 2 autographs. We got 3 boxes left, and we still haven't got the purple. The box with all the purple chrome in it, so should have a couple good boxes to end here. Yeah, I mean, the Nats, it's like the Washington Capitals when it comes to hockey. Like, the only reason the Capitals have a fan base is because of people in Baltimore. So, see, I think if he gets all his charges dropped, I think Major League Baseball almost has to let him walk back on a baseball diamond, unfortunately. Whether what he did is, since we're never going to know the actual age of the girl, makes me, or how old Franco was, it makes me really hard to make an absolute determination how I truly feel about it. But yeah, I don't. Now, I just don't know. I just don't see how the problem is if he doesn't have. If there's no criminal charges, Brian, here's where the MLB runs into the problem. They have one of their poverty franchises has this kid signed to a long-term contract, which the the Players Association is in a tough spot too, right? Because it's a union. So the problem with unions in the United States is the biggest shitbags get protected, right? So the problem is the union can't be like, well, yeah, you can void his contract for misconduct. We didn't do. No, right now he's destroying the Mexican League and the Mexican Punani, but yes, he pitched very well in the NPB last year. But he didn't re-sign because you can't sign a Japanese deal and then come and play in MLB. Where if you're in the Mexican League, you can leave the Mexican League. I mean, I agree about the Bauer thing, but what I'm trying to say with Franco is the MLB is in a tough spot in that situation, right? Because the Players Association can't back down on the guaranteed contract, and the Rays don't pay guys a lot of money. So to be hooked into somebody for like, when you're a poverty franchise for like 12 or 13 mil a year, like, I don't know what's going to happen. They'd have to trade him. They'll trade him to the Dodgers, and he'll have the same handler Ohtani does. He'll be batting 6th in the Dodgers lineup. Shortstop. They'll move Mookie Betts to second base or back to the outfield. I'll just call them the Bad Boys baseball. Like the Bad Boys in Detroit for basketball. We have Jose Ramirez. Well, Ohtani has a new handler, right? Like, so. That's why I said that. Now, I personally don't know if Ohtani gambled or not. But nor, honestly, do I give a shit, to be honest. If he gambled or didn't gamble, to me, it doesn't matter. Like, I think guys should be able to gamble. As long as they're not shaving points in their game, they should be able to gamble on whatever they want, as long as they're not gambling on games they're involved in. Actually, better yet, I think they should have to place all their bets. They should have to place all their bets through an approved MLB person so they can double check their bets to make sure they're not betting on their own team. Yeah, Bryson Stott on the 359 out of 999. I mean, the only way they could be able to gamble on themselves is if they're only gamble on the overs. They can't. I mean, you can't gamble on the unders. No, that was a boxer. That was the boxer that beat the black guy. But boxing's corrupt as hell anyway, so what's it matter? Cows are right there. That's going to be 10th box. We have Cookie Rojas. What a nickname. Octavio Victor Rojas Rivas Cookie. For the Royals. They just don't make nicknames like they used to. Well, here's the purple chrome box, so right, good luck to everybody in this box. Hopefully we get some good rookies on the purple chrome. Start off with Nolan Jones. Hunter Goodman, who originally came up as a first baseman. We get another Dalton Varsho on the memorabilia. No, second to last box. Also kind of crazy that we might only get 3 autographs. Jazz Chisholm, we have Wells. Julio Pablo Lopez. John Gray, Bryce Harper on the purple chrome. Corbin Carroll. Yeah, I mean, it's not been the best case. Unless there's like an Ellie red ink it back in the last box. Corey Seager. Bo Bichette. Gavin Williams. Riley Green on the purple chrome. Triolo, Parker Meadows. Trey Turner on the purple. There's CJ Abrams, Jose Rodriguez. J-Ram. AJ Smith-Sauver, Freeman. Milliard. Yeah, Mike Nelson Trout. PCA on the purple chrome. Got Colway. Curtis Mead. Schneider. JP Martinez on the white. You have Ellie on the purple. Going to Brad in the Reds. Yordan Alvarez, Palencia, Navarro, Ramsey, Pavetta, and LeMahieu. Jonah Heim. Winans, Christopher Morel, Conforto, Goldschmidt, Perez, Seaver, McClanahan, Esteury Ruiz. And Mead. George Kirby. Will Benson Bieber. We got Evan Carter purple. Going to Ward. Ellie Base, J-Ram. Donovan. 893 out of 999 for the Mariners. Going to Tyler Fromm on the J-Rod. We have Santander, Sassoni, Kim, and Austin Meadows. D-backs. We got Blackman, Wolf, Waters, Valdez, Carroll, Singer, Westberg, Shiano, Spencer Horwitz, Kyle Schwarber, BB, Rojas, Furman, Otani, Brown, Gallen, Raleigh, and Senga. Got Fletcher, Marte, Quan, Davis. George Springer on the purple. Ornelas. A black border Ellie. Romano, Scherzer, Garcia, Donovan, Davenport, Donovan. We have Kershaw, Carroll, Bobby Miller, Cabrera, and Felipe. Phillies are Mark Dixon on the purple chrome. And Jordan Westberg of the Orioles. All right, last box. I would say the Yankees on the buybacks might have did okay, but yeah, I mean it's really very big time Reds break. You got Kowser, Smith, Sauver, Wu, Carter, Davis, got Goldschmidt, and Logan Webb, 256 out of 575 for the Giants. Struggled at the beginning of the year. It's been a lot better lately. We have a Rosarena, got Bogarts, white border J-Ram, Rochio, it's like a $3 card, man. Calm down. More than 50 cents. We got Sandy Alcantara on the memorabilia. That is brutal, though. 2 autographs in a whole case. I'll have to put in my complaints. You definitely did gold on the pitcher relic, which is unfortunate. Gary Sanchez, delay. Rafaelo. Curtis Mead, PCA. Lawrence Butler. Duran. Jose Cuas. Got Hicks and Devin Williams. All right, let's do a quick recap of the hits. We had Sandy Alcantara on the relic, Webb out of 575, the purple Westberg, Rojas, Sassoni, J-Rod out of 999, Evan Carter on the purple, the white border Martinez, Mead, and PCA on the purple chrome. We have Varsho on the relic, Rojas on the buyback, Stott out of 999, Ramirez on the relic, Tovar on the relic, Weaver on the black and white, Chisholm Jr. out of 999, Tommy Davis on the buyback. We have Buxton 575, Reynolds on the memorabilia, Cortez on the black border, Josh Bell out of 99 on the relic. We have Albury on the buyback, Priester out of 999, Vladdy Jr. on the bat memorabilia. We have David Hamilton on the buyback, Jordan Adams out of 999. for the Angels. We have Eloy Jimenez for the White Sox on the buyback. Rutschman out of 375. Realmuto on the memorabilia. McClanahan on the black border. And Christian Walker on the black border. We're going to have the black border Ellie, the purple Ellie, and the Ellie photo variation. Rick Dempsey on the buyback. Mario Guerrero on the buyback. Bautista on the memorabilia. Orta on the buyback. Kershaw to 999. Blomberg for the Yankees on the autograph. And then Jackson Wolf on the autograph. And that's going to be the break, guys. Mike, what do you want a personal of? I was going to say, but yeah, you can. I'll run it right here on this video. Yeah, that's fine, man. I can open it up. Let me go grab a box. For a personal TCB, hold on one second. Alright, good luck, man. Just so you know, I only have one other box of this, Mike, so don't get overzealous here and pull some ridiculous. I was going to say, you pretty much, between the stuff that I sent you, you're pretty much open the entire case, minus like 2 boxes that were broken on stream, so. And mixers. Or close to the entire case. Whatever else has been on stream, so. Not like there's a mystery of something that's been hit. But good luck. 5 autographs total. There's a whole ton of Heritage sitting around. We have... the back should be a couple. There we go. Okay. Vargas. Oswald Peraza. Ramirez. Myers. And then when you have Jace Jung on the 72 out of 100. Actually, I know I'm going to have to get up and probably get top loaders too. I just sent you a message, Brian, because your guys' price is a little bit different than some people's. Only because this is on the page. I don't want people to... Nice Mikey Ramiro there, by the way. I mean, you and Mike have the same price, but I don't want you... I only have one more box left, so... Just a heads up. We have Nolan Jones, Christopher Morel, Corbin Carroll, and Edison Polino. I sent you what the price is for Topps Chrome Black, too. We have Parada and Yasser Mercedes. No, that's fine. I was going to say my stupid phone's not working either properly, so I don't even know the message went through. We have Jonathan Aranda, Jordan Walker, Jackson Merrill, Churio, Gavin Cross, and Daniel Montesino. I will say when basketball and football hits, I'm going to try to push personals a lot more, even through the group, and going to try to price them at a really good price, or if you guys want to do like Pack Wars or whatever else, we can do that. Because whenever that stuff hits for Topps, I'm gonna have to figure out a move. We got Hunter Brown, Jace Jung, Spencer Jones, Mejia, Jonathan Mejia again on the 63 out of 75. The color in this set is definitely beautiful whenever it does hit, but man, hopefully we get a big boy autograph. But probably the boxes I probably sent you probably has the big autographs. They don't want me to show anything cute on camera. We have Drew Gilbert. Good hit, though. Drew Gilbert's a good prospect. Just, I can't remember if he's the guy that's still in the Astros organization or if he's one of the guys that have been traded. I think he was traded to the Mets, right? Last one. Typically, there's at least one numbered autograph. Good luck, Mike. We had Jet Williams, Jackson Churio, Jacob Berry, Drew Gilbert, Xavier Isaac, and house call. 8 out of 150, Brady House on the refractor. Nice auto there. He's having a fantastic year in the minors. Had a fantastic year last year, too. Very, very good ball player. Let me actually separate the rookies out from this. I just started putting guys all in the same pile like a boosted monkey. Do a quick recap of the autographs. Let me just leave these rookies because I want to make sure I bag them up and put them in the bin for shipping before. Remember, guys, tomorrow, Mixer. We're going to go back to a little more traditional format in the sense of I'm going to actually put a interest post and everything. I know I just kind of been dropping cases whenever. Jace Jung, which is actually a nice card, out of 100. We have Mejia out of 75. Drew Gilbert on the base. Polino on the base. Montesino on the base. Romero on the base. And Brady House out of 150 on the refractor. And that's going to be the box. Congratulations, I was going to say. Oh, man. As I just keep knocking Brady House down with my big hands. Bag this up. Something like that. I'll stay on for a second while I bag this up in case you want something else. I was going to say, no pressure one way or another, just... Oh, I hope the HTA does pretty well, too. I was going to say, it has some smaller breaks. Not smaller in the sense of, but like not a ton of cards to be open for Dylan. So I am hoping the HTA does well. Yeah, Brian's chasing, he's chasing a couple debut patches on a couple different guys, so... That's why he called me a sneaky bastard earlier, or whatever he called me. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you. I'm going to hop off of here and put the sticky notes I need to make sure that they put these in the right piles or whatever else. But... like I said, man, you guys need to, I know Mike's been inviting people, but I was going to say, if you guys see guys looking to get in certain breaks, make sure you invite them to the group, especially guys for Bowman, especially if they're missing teams in other groups and not getting the teams they want. But I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate you, Brian, for hanging out. Appreciate everybody with the Heritage. You guys have a good night. Be safe. I will catch you all tomorrow. Interest posts will go up early. We'll probably drop the break around like noon or 1. That way the West Coast guys get a chance to wake up.